Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This is my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, March 15th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. And also, if you're into Bitcoin trading, I will do a bonus chart of Bitcoin at the very end. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So ticker number one, SOUN, has been an absolute monster and still is looking just fine. But this is where things get a little tricky because it's all about perspective. What do I mean? Well, if you're a day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 20 minutes, well then yes, from that perspective, the chart looks really, really bad. However, if you care about the bigger picture point of view, I get it. The price pulled back here quite a bit today, but overall, everything is still just fine. This will mean a little bit more to those of you that watched yesterday's video, but if you did, hopefully remember me putting in that line right there at 755, talking about it as a level of support. And I mean, the power of charts, check it out. Opening 30 minutes was crazy, but notice right where it happened to bounce. And I've not just put that line there. If you don't believe me, I'm not offended at all. Just go back in the video archive and you can watch the video chart that I did yesterday on this, and you'll see that line was there. And then once again, came down there and bounced off. So my point here is that from the big picture point of view, assuming that's what you care about, the overall chart is still perfectly fine. When you start to look at where these lows have been, the lows, and there's even lower lows down here, but if you envision these as stair steps, the overall stair steps are still plenty in the upwards direction. Again, day trader that bought right there, yeah, not a good looking chart. But if you care about the grand scheme of things, the overall trend is still in the bullish favor, with the near-term level resistance remaining there at $8.70. Next one here, ticker symbol FSR, and this one's a relatively popular stock. Got absolutely beat down today, and it is a penny stock. So penny stocks with high volume, always very popular within that demographic of trader. And what we have here is, I think a lot of people have done this right here. They've drawn that trend line right here. They've noticed, wow, this thing's gotten really beat down today. And when a lot of people are watching the same levels and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movements. So there are no guarantees, but is it plausible? Is it valid that if the price is able to come up and break through that red line? So you can see right now, the price is right below that level. But if it can push up through there, could that create additional buying pressure? That is not a guaranteed outcome, but it is certainly more than reasonable. So if you like to play one of these, potential things where a stock gets hammered down and then you try to catch some sort of bounce, even if it's just a dead cat bounce, I mean, from a trading standpoint, that can still be plenty profitable. Then definitely keep an eye on that. If the price does roll back over, then main area of support right down there at the 14-cent mark. So yeah, this one got absolutely hammered today, but it started to go sideways here. Is that a leading indicator of an upwards move to come? Next couple of days will be very interesting. Next one, MARA, and another brutal move for this one. The bears have taken over that much more. First update comes about based on a foundational ruling charting which states when levels of support are broken and closed below, you want to see them act as, you don't want to see them act as resistance if you're bullish. If you're bearish, you do. And I know a lot of people out there are bearish on this one. So if the price does try to curl back upwards, then right there, $19, and we'll call it 25 cents, going to be that main battleground to watch. I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of that level as it served its purpose for now. And then the next question becomes, okay, well, where are the next levels of support? And as you're seeing here, it has been a very, very long time since the price has been down this low. And with that being said, next key level of support, going back there to early February, down there at $16.10. So we're going to go back in, and it might disappear off the screen. Yep, okay. So let me zoom. There we go. Whoops. So right there. So right now, if you want to call this a little miniature area of support right there, I mean, I wouldn't put up any argument there. But as far as just overarching levels, definitely 16.10 going to be the next key level to watch moving forward. And then just from a pattern standpoint, you have a bear pennant. Now, just because it's a bear pennant doesn't mean for sure the price is going to go downwards. But the odds are suggesting that this thing is wanting to continue down even further. But yeah, overall, very rough movement past couple days. Next one, TSLA Tesla continues to bleed, and it just got even worse today. I mean, it was already bad after Wednesday, but things did not improve at all. So just get rid of that level. And then as I just said on the previous one, levels of support are broken and closed below, tend to act as resistance. So if there is any sort of attempted bounce back upwards, first key level of resistance now going to be right up there at the 164 mark. And you can actually see that. Let me zoom in. So classic example right here. But you can see price broke above it, and then right there, rejected, right there, rejected. Doesn't mean that 164 can't be broken, just saying it makes sense why the price is getting rejected at that level. So moving forward, definitely going to want to keep an eye on that. And then just because Tesla has not been down this low for a long time, I'm going to change to the daily time frame here. Daily meaning each one of these now represent an entire day's worth of time. But yeah, we're going back almost a year ago with the next key level of support being down there at 151.50. So 151.50, which again is coming from back here. Oh, you can't even see that. Let's see. Yeah, back here in basically May. So almost a year ago, we're potentially headed down to those levels right around there. So as of now, the price is kind of in a little miniature kind of no man's land. So I don't think anybody would be shocked at this point to see the momentum can potentially carry it down to that level. But yeah, all things considered, very rough movement right now. Next one, AMC, and this has been one that I've been tracking very closely, and we've talked about that green line down there time and time again at $4.20 as the main level of support. And to give credit where credit's due, the price did come down here, and you can see that basically spent all day just hovering right at that level. Now, there was this temporary fake breakdown, but again, to give credit where it's due, it was a breakdown, but the bulls quickly recovered. Not only recovered back up to that level, but actually pushed slightly above there. So like I said, all things considered, it could have been a really, really terrible day had the price gained even more momentum. I mean, it was already a rough day, but could have certainly been a whole lot more worse. So moving forward, $4.20 remains that key level of support. And then in terms of areas of resistance, you'll want to keep an eye on that purple line right there, 50-period moving average, which you can see already has acted as resistance a couple times earlier today. But yeah, nice afternoon here. Nice bounce upwards after that breakdown. So we'll see if this momentum can carry into Friday. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering very soon. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free webinar. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box, or if you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage you can click to get signed up. Now, one special note, it is a genuine live event. So a couple situations, maybe you already have something on your schedule this evening, or maybe you're watching this Friday morning and you completely missed it. Go ahead, send me an email, clay@claytrader.com, and I would be happy to send you a link to the replay. But if you can make it live, then definitely get signed up, and I'll see you here in just a few hours. Next, WIMI, and I like this one quite a bit as it's showing that maybe this pullback is over. It did hit a high right here. Then yes, had a pretty big pullback, but at least now the price has just essentially gone sideways. No, sideways doesn't guarantee that it's for sure the bottom, but it becomes a whole lot more plausible compared to if the price was still just dropping straight down. So right now, got some sideways movement, and then we also have a nice area of resistance where, again, if you want to call it a self-fulfilling prophecy or what have you, you have this area right here that I think is pretty interesting. Maybe you'd want to draw it a little bit differently. But point here being is this general area of the chart right here, I think is going to be a key level of resistance that a lot of people will be watching. And then as far as supports are concerned, as already mentioned, started to go sideways finally down here right around the $1.31 mark. So I would call that a key level of support. And then from a pattern standpoint, we'll quickly draw something in. So we have our resistance, we have our support. We have the move upwards here. Put the golf hole down here and make it a little more visual for you golfers. And this would be a bull pennant pattern. But like I said earlier, with bearish patterns, that doesn't mean the price is going to go down. Same with a bullish pattern. Just because it's bullish does not mean it's for sure going to go upwards. But if it can get the break to the upside, then that could certainly create some good, solid upwards momentum. Next, SOFI, and like a lot of these ones, very rough day today. Not necessarily because it was red, but because it broke down through key levels of support. And in this situation, you can see 715 was a level of support moving into today, but it was broke right there. So then, as you know, the rule states levels of support broken, they tend to act as resistance. And you can see, again, classic example of that. Price broke below it. And then right here, basically a whole big clump of the price trying to get momentum back to the upside and couldn't quite do it. Now, last 30 minutes right now, as I speak, you can see a nice little green candle here forming. If this does continue, then that'll be where the big question mark lies is, okay, that's nice that it's bounced, but is there any sort of true power? And true power being, let's see if it can even get above 715 and stay above it. And that would just, be a step in the right direction. In terms of areas of support, as we're seeing here, actually, I can't tell from the naked eye. Is the price down below that level right now? Yeah, slightly even below the lows from way back here. So yeah, it's really just a question of where did the bleeding finally stop today? And the bleeding stopped right there at the $7 mark. So no fancy reasoning or logic there. As easy as that. Where did the party finally stop today for the bears? $7. So that'll be the main level of support for Friday. Next one, BBAI. Very wild day today. I mean, absolutely crazy opening 30 minutes. Got to feel sorry for the people that were buying right there. Hopefully they had stop losses. But with the downwards movement, we go once again to that idea of sideways. So, I mean, straight down, straight down, straight down. And then all of a sudden, it's now gone sideways right there. Does that mean that it's for sure the bottom? If only trading were that easy. If only you could say, hey, look, it's gone sideways. That means it's for sure done going down. Now, it just serves as a leading indicator. But that also brings about what I would consider the key level of support moving forward. Right here at $2.36. You can see once, twice, three times, four times. and then very close right there a couple more times. So yeah, for whatever reason, as of now, there does seem to be quite a bit of buyers right at that level as an area of support. And then as far as levels of resistance are concerned, once again, pretty straightforward right there up at the 248 mark. You can see several times the price got up around that area and just rejected by it. So really, if you wanted to just summarize this in a patterns perspective, you could just say right now a little bit of a sideways channel pattern with a question mark going into Friday of who's ultimately going to win. Are the bears going to win with a break to the downside, or are the bulls going to win with a break to the upside? So if you like this price range, you like these sorts of scenarios, then definitely keep an eye on it. Next, RIVN, and this one for a while had made a very, very impressive bounce back upwards, but all those gains have essentially been given back up, which also creates an interesting scenario here. So let me get this level of support. Yeah, it didn't. Okay. Technically speaking, it already hit it, but we'll see if it goes back down there again. But right here, from these lows from several weeks ago, at $10.50, you can see that's essentially right where the price found some buyers. So the power of charts, what a coincidence. It was dropping, and then right there at that area where it's bounced before, you're now starting to get a potential bounce moving forward, which is what makes this very interesting going into Friday. Is you get to ask the question, is history going to repeat itself? Now, I don't know if it's going to make that big of a bounce, but even if it just goes up to that 200 period moving average right there, that pink line, I mean, from a trading standpoint, that could still be a very preferable and very nice move. So, but as right now, it's still very close. So from a risk reward scenario, assuming of course you're going to honor stop losses, you're looking at a very interesting situation if you can get some sort of bounce. So if you like these sorts of things, you're trying to play bottoms where you got nice tight stops, then RIVN seems to really fit that scenario. Next, TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ market. So if you think the NASDAQ market as a whole is going to go up, this one will also go up. And rough day today with the way, but the market's had a relatively rough day today. Although I will say last 30 minutes there, quite impressive. I mean, not that long ago, this thing was sitting down at lows, getting ready to maybe even get worse. But now all of a sudden, a very impressive bounce has occurred. So overall, some key levels to watch headed into Friday. Going to really just be all about those moving averages right there. Pink line being the 200 period moving average, purple line being the 50 period moving average. And they're not the exact same value, but I think we'd all agree they're certainly within the same general vicinity. So I'd consider that a pretty stubborn resistance level, or zone, I should say, for Friday. Doesn't mean that the price can't break through it. I'm just saying the price is really going to need to bring its A game if it is going to be able to fight through there. And then in terms of levels of support, the overall one down there at the $58 mark. But if you wanted to throw another one in there, suppose you could throw something in there right around that level at $58.95, right around there. And that's just coming from this being a previous area of support right there. And then also essentially where it found some support right there. But yeah, crazy day today. We'll see how it closes out the day and the week on Friday. So that wraps up the top 10 stocks. So again, for you stock traders, definitely go get signed up for that free live webinar. It'll be this evening, Thursday, March 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. But like I said earlier, if you can't make it live for whatever reason, go ahead and send me an email, clay@claytrader.com, and I would be happy to send you a link to the replay. Now for you Bitcoin traders, let's get to that chart. One quick clarification, we are now looking at the 4-hour time frame. So instead of each one of these candlesticks representing 30 minutes, each one represents 4 hours. And if you've watched the past videos, I don't think anybody should necessarily be surprised by this. You know that I've been calling for pullbacks because of this rising wedge pattern. And, first pullback came right here, but got a beautiful bounce off the bottom part of the pattern. But this pullback here, the difference being the price is now broken down through the pattern and is currently sitting down below that purple line. So the massive question mark that at least I have moving forward is there going to be a much steeper pullback now? Now, keep in mind, before you go and lose your mind, pullback is not the same as a reversal. I'm not saying this thing is crashing back down to, $40,000. I'm just saying that it's clear that this rising wedge pattern has been broken. So now, as any technical trader would say, okay, is there going to be continuation? So that's a big question mark here. Will there be continuation? So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the pattern as it has officially served its purpose. And then now mark out next key area of support to keep a close eye on moving into the next 24 hours before I'm back to update this again. And that's this area right down here at 67,250. And if the price comes down there and break, I should probably add in one more just in case it gets really crazy. And the next key level of support after that would be down there right around 64,500 as those next key levels where it could pull back to. But from an overarching standpoint, the trend is still plenty bullish. So I don't say any of this in like a massively bearish sense. I just say it in the sense of there was a rising wedge and it made a really impressive move. So yeah, pullbacks need to happen. Nothing can go straight up. So if this pullback does continue, very curious to see how it behaves at these levels of support. And as I said, for the stock traders, for you Bitcoin traders, or really just crypto traders as a whole, everything that will be taught in the class not only applies to stock traders, but also crypto traders. So yeah, definitely go get signed up. It'll be this evening, Thursday, March 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Or if you can't make it live, just drop me an email, clay@claytrader.com. So I hope to see you there. If you appreciate these videos, if you enjoy the top 10 and the Bitcoin bonus chart, hit that like button, leave a comment below. Let me know your watch list. Let me know, are you going to be able to make it tonight for the class? So comment below. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.